What if God doesn't want your obedience? We assume faith means submission, doing what we're told, trusting without questioning, but the Bible tells a different story. The entire nation of Israel gets its name from a man who physically fought with God and was blessed for it. To understand why wrestling became the model, we need to see what didn't work. God's first experiment, Eden, complete freedom. Humans could choose anything, and they chose rebellion. They grasped for independence over relationship. The consequence was expulsion, mortality, and the blocked access to the tree of life. Free will without boundaries led to catastrophe. So God tried again with Noah after the flood, but the second creation proved no better. Humanity descended into violence and idolatry, forgetting God entirely. 2 attempts, 2 failures. God promised never to destroy all humanity again, but now needed a different approach. Enter Abraham. Instead of working with all humanity, God chose one faithful individual. Abraham's faith was extraordinary. He passed every test. He left his homeland. He trusted impossible promises. Then came the ultimate test. Sacrifice your son, Isaac. Abraham obeyed without question. He bound Isaac on the altar, raised the knife, and God stopped him. This moment reveals something crucial. God himself intervened. Blind obedience wasn't the answer either. Here's the problem God faced. On one end, unchecked independence, humans in Eden chose autonomy and rebelled. On the other end, blind obedience. Abraham was willing to kill his own son without questioning. Both extremes failed. Total freedom led to chaos. Total submission led to horror. The ideal relationship had to exist somewhere in the middle, but where? The answer comes through Jacob, the most unlikely candidate imaginable. Jacob's name in Hebrew, Yaakov, means heel grabber or supplanter. He earned it. At birth, he grasped his twin Esau's heel. Later, he deceived his blind father Isaac to steal Esau's blessing. He manipulated his brother out of his birthright for a bowl of stew. Jacob was a schemer, a trickster, a man who got what he wanted through cunning rather than character. He fled his brother's murderous rage and spent 20 years in exile, where his uncle Laban deceived him repeatedly. The deceiver got deceived. Now Jacob must return home and face Esau. The night before reuniting with Esau, Jacob sends his family across the Yabbok River. He remains alone in the darkness. A mysterious figure appears and wrestles with him until dawn. The text is deliberately ambiguous about who this figure is. Man, angel, God himself. What matters is what happens. Jacob refuses to let go. Hour after hour, through the entire night, he holds on. The figure cannot defeat him. So the figure touches Jacob's hip socket, dislocating it. Jacob is wounded, but still won't release his grip. I will not let you go unless you bless me, Jacob says. This is the turning point. The figure asks Jacob's name. In biblical thought, names contain essence. Knowing a name means understanding the thing itself. Jacob answers, Yaakov, heel grabber, deceiver, supplanter. He confesses who he has been. Then the figure speaks, Your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Yisrael, for you have struggled with God and with humans and have prevailed. Yisrael. The Hebrew breaks down precisely. Yisra means he struggles or he wrestles. El means God. Israel, one who wrestles with God. The struggle itself, not victory, not submission, becomes his new identity. Jacob limps away from that river bank. The wound is permanent. He'll carry it the rest of his life. But he also carries a blessing and a new name. The struggle purged something from him. The deceiver who grasped at everything through manipulation has become someone who holds on through sheer persistence, demanding authentic encounter rather than stolen goods. Neither party won that wrestling match. Jacob was wounded. The figure couldn't defeat him. Both were changed by the engagement. That's the point. The proof of Jacob's transformation comes immediately. He meets Esau the next morning, the brother he cheated, the brother who swore to kill him. The old Jacob would have schemed, manipulated, prepared deceptions. Instead, Jacob bows 7 times. He offers genuine reconciliation, and he says something remarkable. To see your face is like seeing the face of God. Genesis 33 verses 10-11. The man who just wrestled with the divine now sees divinity in his brother's face. Authentic relationship has replaced manipulation. Now we can complete the spectrum. Unchecked independence failed in Eden. Blind obedience failed with Abraham. But Jacob, now Israel, found the middle path. Dynamic struggle, ongoing engagement. Wrestling implies intimacy. You cannot wrestle from a distance. You must be close enough to grapple. Wrestling implies equality of engagement. Both parties must show up fully. Wrestling implies transformation. Neither leaves unchanged. God finally found a working model for divine-human relationship. Not passive submission, not rebellious independence, but active, ongoing, transformative struggle. This name, Israel, becomes the name of an entire people, a nation defined not by obedience, not by independence, but by struggling with God. This isn't a bug in the system. It's the feature. Doubt, questioning, wrestling. These aren't failures of faith. They're the definition of it. The tradition that emerges from this moment values argument, debate, and wrestling with sacred texts. The Talmud preserves minority opinions alongside majority rulings. Questions matter as much as answers. Right? Struggle is sacred. The limp Jacob carries is permanent. Authentic relationship with the divine leaves a mark, but it also leaves a blessing. The wound and the blessing come together. They always do.